Hello Misfits and welcome! In today's video we're talking about 5 more useful tools for TTRPGs. A while back I did one of these where it was 5 useful tools for running a game. This one is 5 more tools, but some of it will be for players, some of it will be for GMs, some of it is system agnostic, some of it is 5e centered, so there's just a little bit of everything there, but that's what today's video is, so let's get into it. Number 1 is not a digital tool at all, it's a physical tool. It's a book called The Monsters Know What They're Doing. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard about this book before. It's an incredibly useful tool for dungeon masters. Basically, this is going to be your combat tactics, your strategies when you're running all these different monsters. When you're a player, you only have to worry about how your one character thinks. When you're a DM, you have to figure out how to play a bunch of different types of enemies, and this is going to be the tool for you. They have basically combat tactics for all sorts of different monsters. Undead, aberrations, giants, oozes, beasts, elementals, etc. And for the majority of these, they're basically going to give you like a breakdown of what kinds of things your baddie is going to be trying to do on each turn. This is something that I really turned to the first time I wanted to introduce a really intelligent spellcaster as an enemy, one that I wanted to stick around for multiple sessions, and so I really used this like religiously when I first introduced that character, because basically it gave me like a turn-by-turn play-by-play of how they would handle combat, how they would get in, deal some pretty sizable damage, and then get out so that they could live to tell the tale. And that's really important if you're running an intelligent bad guy. But I mean, there's also tactics for your dumber or less intelligent villains as well. So this is an incredibly useful book, and there's actually several of these books. There's The Monsters Know What They're Doing More, which is like another one of these. I think there's another one for DMs that's like How to Defend Your Lair. And I don't know if that's out yet or if it's coming out. I don't know. I gotta look into that one because I'm definitely going to be getting it. But he also does another book for players specifically that's called Live to Tell the Tale. So that's going to be about player combat tactics and strategies. Learn how to fight smarter so that you live longer in your games and feel more successful and heroic. So incredibly useful tools. I highly recommend them. The next tool we're going to look at is DM's Guild. Now, learning that DM's Guild is a thing that existed changed my life. It's great. It's this basically one-stop shop for like supplementary material or new campaigns, a bunch of digital resources. It's fantastic. People that write their own campaigns can publish them on DM's Guild, and you can go and find them. A lot of them are really cheap. They're either pay what you want, or they're only like a few bucks, and it can be little things like magic items to add to your games, a new race to play around in, or class to play with, or it can be bigger things like full campaigns, solo adventures, one-shots. Sometimes they will have, specific adventures that you can put into published modules and things like that. It's incredibly useful, and you can look for pretty much anything you want. You can look for adventures, you can look for rules, you can look for bundles, character options, gear, magic items. There are also specific storylines that you can search for when you're looking through DM's Guild. You can look specifically for stuff to do with Waterdeep or Curse of Strahd or Dragonlance. You can look for specific themes and settings, and you can even search for specific editions. They have from the original edition all the way up to 5th edition. So it's really, really useful, and basically every time I'm looking for a one-shot, I look here first. All of our holiday one-shots have been found on DM's Guild, and the majority of our sort of Halloween-themed stuff has been here too. So there's a lot of great stuff. good reviews, and a lot of times you can sort of open up a dialogue with the actual creator and ask them questions and things like that. And Roll20 has started to kind of work out some stuff with DM's Guild so that more of that material is easily transferred to Roll20. So definitely worth looking at. The next tool we're looking at, and this is one for everyone, is fantasy name generators. Basically, this is almost the only website that I use when I am stumped and need help coming up with a name. It works great in a pinch. It's also great when you're trying to plan things out ahead of time. They basically have a random generator for everything. If you're looking for specifically orc names, specifically female orc names, you can find that here. If you're looking for steampunk city names, you can find that here. If you're looking for magic shop names, look no further. Magic weapon names, it's all here. I love this tool so much, and my players have a tendency to ask for the names of like everything, so this is incredibly helpful to me. Something else I really like about fantasy name generators is above all the names that it gives you, it also gives you just a little bit of lore and explanation, which I always love to see, and it kind of helps sort of flesh things out. And I should also say, you know, sometimes some of the stuff that it gives me aren't exactly what I'm looking for, but at the very least, it often gives me some inspiration. All right, the next tool we're going to look at is called Fantasy Calendar, and I found out about this through DM Tales. Super nice guy, very, very thorough and informative videos, so please go check him out. Highly recommend it. But Fantasy Calendars, this is a great tool for creating a calendar for your game. You could either build one to match the published module you're playing through, or if you've got a homebrew campaign, you can build a calendar to suit your world. And I love this. It's so incredibly customizable, which is fantastic. You can choose how long your year is and how long each month is. You can choose all the different dates that are going to be accounted for. You can enable a clock. You can keep track of weekdays, and you can keep track of weekdays and give them special names, and the same for months. Do you have leap days? Do you not? Are there eras that you want to keep track of? Do you have multiple moons? And what are their cycles gonna look like? I love this so much, and something that I've personally enjoyed lately is that it's really helped me contextualize how much time is passing in the campaign. I sometimes will lose track of just how many days the party has been with each other. I'm always mindful of how long it takes them to get from point A to point B, but in the grand scheme of things, I forget to keep track of the passage of time, and this really, really helps me out. I can see just how many weeks and days the party has been together, and I can put in events to sort of mark the significant things that have happened in the campaign, to just sort of help me keep track of everything. So, highly recommend this tool. And the version that I use right now is totally free, which is nice. I like free stuff. And it gives me everything I need. I even have seasons and things like that I can keep track of. It's perfect for me. All right, the last tool that we're going to look at is 5e Tools. This is a great digital tool that kind of has everything you could possibly need. 5e Tools is fantastic for all the kind of tedious information that we don't always have memorized. And it's so quick to just look it up and find what you're looking for like that. And don't get me wrong, I love having physical books, obviously. Clearly, I enjoy physical books to put on my shelves, but when I'm running a virtual game, I like having everything all like in one place, and so having this sort of digital tool to use to keep track of stuff is really, really useful, and it's a lot quicker than pulling the book off the shelf, finding the page number, and reciting what it says, if that makes sense. Something else that's nice about 5e tools is there is a loot generator built into the website, and you can kind of choose your challenge rating and roll the loot, and it'll give you a result. That's really, really nice. Party loot, you can select what levels they are, yada, 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 roll for it. It'll give you a bunch of items and stuff, which is really, really nice. I love these sort of rollable tables. This is a lot like Kassoon.com. This is just sort of a different kind of version of that. So if you liked that website, this might be really useful for you. It even has a challenge rating calculator, which is nice. I've not played around with this one specifically. I'm still super partial to Kobold Fight Club, but it's nice to know that this is here. We love being able to find information on spells. I like that it's color coordinated, all of that stuff. The only thing that I really don't super love about 5e tools is right now I'm real sick of these like ads that are showing up on the website. And sometimes when I click to go look at a page, it will like give me a pop-up ad that I have to wait for or close out of, which is annoying. I think one of the best things about 5e tools is like the specific DM screen function. Basically, you can add into these anything you want. If you're looking for like specific information, you can put that little description in any of these boxes, and this is your digital DM screen, which I think is great. What I like the most is having like expenses, because money is always coming up. I like having, let's see, what's something else I really enjoy having? I like having conditions always. What are some other good ones that we could put in here? Madness, that actually seems to be pretty appropriate for my current campaign. Cover. Often forgotten. Yeah, but here's sort of like a DM screen that I have put up here. Yeah, so we've got conditions, expenses, madness. I don't know what kind of campaign you're running. Maybe you need some madness. Cover. I always forget about cover. Some optional rule for flanking, improvised damage, creature size, underwater combat. You can put anything in here. You can get rid of any of these and then put them in. I'm on the rules section. There's also content, adventures, specific books, images. You can put pretty much anything in here. But in my opinion, this is one of the best parts of 5e tools for me personally, just because I often use a lot of different sites for all the other stuff that 5e tools can do. Like I use Kobold Fight Club for my CR balancer, my encounter balancer, so I don't need that from this website. I use the Roll20 compendium for looking up a lot of spells and stuff, so I don't need that through 5e tools. But having just a one-stop for the things that I always forget or always need, like expenses and conditions and improvised damage and stuff, that's really nice to have. So that's kind of my favorite aspect of 5e tools. The other stuff that it can do is great. It just doesn't happen to be my preferred stop for that. So these are my 5 more useful tools for TTRPGs. I'm super sorry if too many of them were geared towards D&D. It's not my intention to accidentally overlook these other systems. I try my best to keep things kind of system agnostic and vague, but I mean, at the end of the day, I am going to naturally subconsciously gravitate towards stuff that I know the most about, and I'm still learning the other systems, and I'm not quite as comfortable in them yet. But anyway, I hope this was all useful. If you enjoyed this video, if you liked any of the stuff that we talked about, found it helpful, please feel free to like and subscribe. That really helps me out, but more importantly, leave a comment down below. Tell me about some other tools that you guys use that you really enjoy, that really help you with your games as a player or a DM. I would love to hear about that. But with all of that said and done, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again next time. So, I did something really fun recently. About a week ago now, I went to a Ren Fair, my very first Ren Fair. I'd never gone to one before. I know, shocking, right? But I went to my first ever one, and it was a blast. The one that I went to specifically was the Tennessee Ren Fest. It's like just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And it was great. It was so cool to just see everybody dressed up, eat some good food, just kind of feel magical. I just loved it. And the cool thing about the Tennessee one is there is a castle. For those of you that are big Taylor Swift fans, this Ren Fair is hosted at where the castle is that she filmed her love story music video. It's called Castle Gwen. It's just some guy in the middle of Tennessee that just felt like building a castle, and he did. Now there's a Ren Fair that they put on there. But yeah, it was really, really cool. I certainly had to get some stuff while I was there. I told myself that I must, by any means necessary, leave with a weapon and a hat. So here's my weapon. It's very lovely. It's a dagger, maybe? I actually need your help with this, okay? They didn't tell me what it was when I bought it. I saw it, and I pointed at it, and I said, I want that one. So it's lovely. Their website, I think, listed it under scimitars, probably just for the style of blade, but it's obviously not a, like, big old sword. It's more like a big old knife. If you know the name of this specific weapon, and I know, me asking the internet means that I'm going to get about 80 different answers, and 50 of you are going to have different answers, and you will be determined that you are correct. I'm aware of what I'm doing. But if you think you know what this is called, let me know. I would love to know the specific name. I will let you know that there was a vendor at one of the other tents that he called it something. He recognized it and called it something. And fire was in the name. And I don't remember what he said. So, I don't know if he knew what he was talking about or not. But if you know what this weapon is, specifically, like whatever type of dagger or whatever it is, please let me know. I'm very, very curious. But I absolutely love it. It's exactly what I wanted. But I also really, really wanted a hat. And I did get a hat. And it's complete with feathers and all that loveliness. And it was great. I kind of went as sort of this kind of pirate, musketeer-looking gal. And got lots of compliments on my outfit. It was so much fun. I got to actually, like, bring my rapier with me, which was great. But yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend. I'm already planning my next visit to a similar place. So I've definitely have been bitten by the Ren Fair bug, and I'm looking forward to the next adventure. But if you've ever gone to a Ren Fair or have one that you highly recommend, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. I now want to go to these all the time. So tell me about them. Tell me what the best ones to go to are. I'd love to hear it. Anyway, take care, guys.